This is 9 News.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Vicky Jardim. We begin with the latest on the wild weather which has lashed the east coast of Australia. In a moment, we'll have comprehensive coverage from our reporters in key locations. But first, an update. 3 people have been confirmed dead in the disaster sparked by the storms, all killed in separate accidents as they tried to cross dangerous floodwaters. A number of road closures are still in place in the city's southwest. A huge king tide has slammed Sydney's northern beaches overnight, causing extensive damage to homes in Collaroy. Let's check in now with today's Sydney reporter Lara Vella with the latest on a missing swimmer at Bondi Beach. Lara, good morning. What can you tell us?
Oh, good morning, Vicky. Well, a search will resume this morning in about half an hour's time, as you say, for that swimmer who got into trouble here at Bondi Beach at about 2:30 yesterday afternoon. As I say, in about half an hour's time, the search will resume here at Bondi Beach for that missing swimmer.
Thank you, Lara. 9 News reporter Alexis Date is in Launceston, where 2 people have gone missing in rising floodwaters. Lexi, good morning. What's the latest where you are?
Good morning to you, Vicky. Look, I'm currently standing beside the Tamar River in Launceston and the waters are moving very rapidly. The latest that we have is that police are going to start searching at first light for these 2 elderly people who are still unaccounted for. In terms of what's ahead today, Vicky, there is still some rain falling. It's raining lightly as we speak, but it won't be raining, we don't understand, like yesterday. The severe weather warning was cancelled at around 3:30 this morning. So hopefully that means as this system moves south, the worst is past us, Vicky.
Thank you, Lexi. There, of course, will be a full update on the Today Show. At least 7 homes on Sydney's northern beaches are on the brink of collapse after a king tide slammed into them overnight, causing more erosion. SES crews spent hours sandbagging properties at Collaroy, making sure residents were safely evacuated. Weather presenter Stevie Jacobs will have the latest on this developing situation in the Today Show. Meanwhile, in southeast Queensland, beaches along the Gold Coast remain closed for the 4th day in a row, with forecasters predicting another day of huge swells and a dangerous inshore current. Waves yesterday topped 3 metres, with less experienced surfers being reminded to stay out of the water. Erosion has stripped at least 1 metre of sand from the entire southern end of the coast. In other news now, Australian motorbike champion Mick Doohan is this morning facing claims of assault. Queensland police have confirmed an accusation was made with the alleged incident occurring at North Burleigh Surf Lifesaving Club last week. A local man says he was filming a go-karting event when the Grand Prix champion allegedly lashed out, threatening him and wrestled his phone from his hands, causing the tendons in his fingers to snap. Mr. Doohan denies the allegations. We'll have more on this story in the Today Show. There's been a fresh terror scare in Europe with the dramatic arrest of a man alleged to have been planning mass attacks during a major soccer tournament in Paris. Live to 9's Ben Avery with the details in London. Ben, what do we know about this plot?
Now, all of this was planned over the course of the Euro 2016 soccer tournament, which gets underway in France on Friday. There will be millions of tourists which will visit that event. French officials were only asked today about what security measures are in place. They're saying they're doing everything they can, but there is no way they can 100% guarantee the safety of those millions of tourists, Vicky.
Thank you, Ben. Ben will, of course, have a full update on the Today Show. A deadly crash between 2 trains in Belgium could have been caused by lightning. Authorities say there was a signal failure shortly before a passenger train slammed into the back of a goods train at high speeds. 3 people were killed and dozens more injured in the violent crash. At least 14 people, including 6 children, have been killed in a bus crash in southern Turkey. Dramatic security vision shows the coach clipping a car before plunging off the road and into a canal. Several people near the crash jumped into the water to try and free those trapped inside the bus. The parents of a 3-year-old boy who fell into a gorilla enclosure in the US will not face criminal charges. Authorities also said the zoo will escape charges after the incident led to the shooting death of an endangered gorilla. The exhibit will reopen tomorrow with a higher reinforced barrier. Taking a look at the weather around the country, in Brisbane sunny and 22, Perth 15 and possible storms, and Darwin a hot 33. Coming up this morning, outraged firefighters how they're taking the fight to the government. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg left red-faced in an embarrassing social media gaffe, how you can avoid the same mistake. And the Miss USA blunder that has the world talking. Let's take a look at the front pages. In Sydney, the Telegraph leads with bald eagles. Police Deputy Commissioner Catherine Byrne says a probe into the Manly Sea Eagles is legitimate and authentic. Finally, the Hobart Mercury, raging floods. 2 people are missing, feared dead as wild weather moves south, causing one of the worst flooding disasters on record. A reminder of our top stories this morning. Floodwaters claim the lives of 3 people and there are grave fears for at least 3 more. A swimmer is unaccounted for at Bondi and 2 elderly people are missing in floodwaters in Tasmania. Police are investigating an alleged assault by motorbike legend Mick Doohan. A man claims he was threatened and attacked by the Grand Prix champion. And European authorities have arrested a French man accused of plotting a string of terror attacks. The man was allegedly discovered with an arsenal of weapons and explosives. Victorian firefighters are expected to rally on the steps of Parliament today over a proposed pay deal. A cabinet meeting yesterday failed to resolve the issue, with the Victorian government deferring its final decision. The Country Fire Authority Board has refused to back a new enterprise bargaining agreement, claiming many of the proposed clauses are unlawful and will undermine its 60,000 volunteers. The government expects to finalise a deal in the coming days. Donald Trump is under fire this morning from political heavyweights inside his own party. They claim his latest gaffe is his biggest mistake yet, with many saying his attack on a US judge is blatant racism. An Army Reserve officer has been crowned Miss USA. The 26-year-old representing Washington, D.C., breaking down in tears as she won the award. But not everyone was so lucky on the night. Miss California left many scratching their heads after this response to a question about income inequality.
I think that the rich need to be able to be giving, and I think the poor need to work hard, and I think the middle class need to come together and find an in-between. Thank you.
And he was the butt of jokes, but former host Steve Harvey made a return, poking fun at himself for incorrectly announcing Miss Columbia as the winner last year. Time to check in now with Carl and Lisa. What's coming up this morning on Today?
Miss California. It's quite the thing, isn't it?
Poor girl.
Hey, Vicky, monster tides overnight have battered much of the east coast and Tasmania, as you've been reporting. Special coverage of the storms and the search for people who are missing.
Now, could interest rates go even lower today? Ross Greenwood joins us with his take on the big RBA meeting.
Barnsey is here with a very special live performance, so lock up your auntie, Pat.
It doesn't get much better than that. And we're making not 1, but 2 cash calls today, and Blocky is absolutely determined to give it away, Vicky.
Looking forward to watch. Thanks, guys. Still to come this morning, all of the day's sports news, including a thriller finish as the Sharks reclaim top spot in the NRL. Plus, the AFL match review panel under fire for inconsistency. And Tim Cahill set to announce his club future. Tim Cahill will answer questions about his future after Australia's friendly with Greece tonight. It's believed the Socceroos superstar will make a switch to the A-League after his contract with a Chinese club expires next month. Stay with us on 9's Early Edition. All the weather details are coming up after the break. Taking a look at the weather now, and in Brisbane, sunny and 22, Perth 15 and possible storms, and Darwin a sunny 33. For the latest on all of our stories, you can visit 9news.com.au on your mobile, tablet or desktop. That's all from me this morning. Now it's time to join Carl and Lisa.